So today for part 4 of Jumpstart, I want to talk about red clamp. So the red clamp, when you jump in your car, whatever the battery, it is the positive. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. Being positive. Y'all, we have enough negativity going on in this world, right? We all can find something to complain about, be negative about, and everything else. But why do we give so much energy on that? When I think about just in general, let's think of like social media, for example. It always seems like something that is so negative gets so much attention. But the positive things don't get as much attention. I'll tell you for myself, my talks with Shay, been doing them 5.5 years. Yeah, I don't get many views. And every time I think about stopping, it's like God tells me no. And he like, if it's one person that you can reach, it's a success. And I have to remind myself about that because there's so much negativity in the world. We are surrounded by the negativity, but we have to make a conscious decision to say, you know what? I'm going to choose to be positive. I'm going to choose to stop complaining. I'm going to choose to look at the bright side of things because we all have stuff happening in our lives that's not positive, but we always have more positive things going on in our lives than not. I remember like them old people would say all the time, there's always somebody in a worse situation than you. And we look at that like it's so cliche because it may be to some, but it stands true because there's always somebody else in a worse situation than you. When I think about even being positive, when we are positive, it lifts us up, right? When we do something good for someone else, it lifts us up. It makes us feel good about ourselves, and then we helping someone else to have a better day as well. Like for instance, today at work, I decided I have this book with about a bunch of like positive things, phrases, scriptures, and whatever. You rip it out, give it to someone. So today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this to somebody today. So I asked God, I say, whoever is the first person that I see at work today is who I'm gonna give this to. And so it was this lady. Once she got settled into her office, I went bring it to her, and she was just kind of like, thank you. You never know where people are. You know what I mean? And me, I'm always like writing a date on it and then writing my name, signing my name with a little heart and a little smiley face. But you never know what people need. Sometimes the person that looks the happiest is the person that's fighting the most. So go out of your way and be positive for someone. My coworker told me today, she was like the other day, she went in the store. She was having a bad, horrible day. Mood was off. An elderly lady asked her for help, and she was just like, I'm not going that way, kind of. And then she felt bad and turned around and went help the lady. And she said once she got to helping the lady, it changed her whole mood. When we do good to other people, it can't do nothing else but make us feel good about ourselves. So be intentional with stuff like that. Go out of your way sometimes and make somebody else smile because that person may need that smile more than you. And when you make them smile, it reflects back on you. And God is love. And if we're showing people who God is, we have to be that example. We are surrounded by enough negativity in this world. I think about even with talks with Shay. Like, I would like to think it's positive. Not to think it because it is positive. But I don't get much people listening. But let me say something that's probably negative, and if I be on here like making, I don't know, rumors or being negative, it probably would blow up. People give too much energy into the negative things in their lives. And so when we learn to put more positive things in our lives, we'll probably feel better about ourselves. So my question to you would be, are you working on that positivity? That's your food for thought because we all need to be working on it. Stop entertaining the negative voices in your life. Amen. Amen. So today I leave you with this. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 8. And it says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. So before I go, I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, check out my website at www.talkswithshay.org. You can subscribe to my videos on YouTube and find me on Facebook. Like my page, share my page, invite your friends to like my page. And until next time with Talks with Shay, Shay is out. Y'all stay blessed.